October 1944. The Pacific Ocean held its breath. 4 Japanese fleets, 678 ships, 200,000 men, all converging on one deadly point. America had returned to the Philippines, but Japan had one final plan to stop them: sacrifice everything. And in the waters of Leyte Gulf, the greatest naval battle in history was about to begin. October 23rd, 1944. 2 American submarines, USS Darter and USS Dace, were silently patrolling the Palawan Passage when their radar screens lit up with something that made their commanders go pale. An entire Japanese fleet. Battleships, cruisers, destroyers, sailing in formation through the darkness. Within minutes, torpedoes were in the water. The Japanese cruiser Atago, flagship of Admiral Kurita, commander of Japan's most powerful surface force, was struck and began to sink. Kurita himself was thrown into the ocean and had to be pulled aboard a destroyer. His fleet pressed on. This was Center Force. 5 battleships, including the mighty Yamato and Musashi, the 2 largest battleships ever built by any nation. Their guns could hurl shells over 25 miles. Nothing afloat could survive their firepower. And they were heading straight for Leyte Gulf. October 24th, 1944. American aircraft found the Japanese center force in the Sibuyan Sea and attacked in wave after wave. Their target? Musashi, sister ship to Yamato. 73,000 tons of steel, armor so thick that ordinary bombs simply bounced off her deck. But the Americans kept coming. 19 torpedo hits, 17 bomb hits. Musashi was bleeding from 1,000 wounds, listing heavily, her lower decks flooding fast. Her captain ordered all crew to the high side of the ship to balance her weight. Nearly 2,000 men clung to her tilting deck, some praying, some silent, as another wave of American planes appeared on the horizon. At 7:35 in the evening, Musashi rolled over and sank. Over 1,000 men went down with her into the darkness. The largest battleship in the Pacific was gone. But Kurita's remaining fleet quietly reversed course. They were still coming. Here is where history turned on a single decision. American Admiral Halsey received reports of a Japanese carrier force approaching from the north. He chased it. What he didn't know? The northern carriers were a decoy. Ghost ships with almost no planes sent to lure him away from Leyte Gulf. And it worked. Halsey took his entire 3rd Fleet and raced north, leaving the entrance to Leyte Gulf completely unguarded. In the darkness, Kurita's center force slipped silently through San Bernardino Strait, undetected, and emerged directly behind the American landing forces. Standing between Japan's most powerful fleet and thousands of defenseless American soldiers on the beach were 6 small escort carriers, 3 destroyers, and 4 tiny destroyer escorts. They were called Taffy 3. They were completely alone. 6:47 a.m., October 25th, 1944. Radar picked up massive Japanese warships, Yamato, cruisers, destroyers, closing fast. Rear Admiral Sprague had seconds to decide. He couldn't outrun them, he couldn't outgun them, but he could fight. He ordered his tiny destroyers, USS Johnston, USS Hull, USS Samuel B. Roberts, to charge directly at the Japanese fleet. Small ships against giants, torpedoes against battleships. Johnston took over 40 shell hits and kept firing. Her commander, Ernest Evans, one of the bravest men ever to wear an American uniform, never stopped fighting until his ship was gone. He was never found. Samuel B. Roberts was torn open by 14-inch shells. Her crew called her the destroyer escort that fought like a battleship. For 2.5 hours, Taffy 3 held the line. Stunned by their ferocity, Kurita ordered his fleet to withdraw. The beaches were saved. The soldiers were saved. But the men of Taffy 3 paid for it with their lives. Outnumbered, outgunned, they never backed down. They were outnumbered, outgunned, flying planes that had no business fighting battleships. But on June 4th, 1942, 15 young men flew directly into certain death without turning back. A single pilot followed one desperate hunch and found the entire Japanese fleet exposed below him. 4 minutes, 4 carriers burning, the most powerful naval force in the Pacific, broken forever. 307 Americans never came home. But what they gave that morning over Midway changed everything. Japan never advanced again, never attacked again. The road to victory began right there, above that tiny coral island, carried on the wings of men who simply refused to give up. They didn't just save Midway, they saved the Pacific.